Hey everybody, hope you're doing well, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how I make my 164 diecast cars. This is going to be a beginner edition. This is for people who just started making custom diecast car, don't even know where to start, because I make Truck Series, Xfinity Series, and Cup Series ones. However, I don't really make them that professional, but they still turn out really good, and I just want to show everybody how easy it is for you guys to make some of the cars that don't really get made by Lionel Racing or other diecast companies, just for the simple fact that one, the teams are too small, or two, the marketing cannot be done to make these kind of cars. So you can honestly make custom diecast cars with any type of scale and any type of series. I mean, there are decals for the Truck Series. This is Stuart Friesen's number 52 car. You can also make some for the Xfinity Series. This is the number 98 of Riley Herbst with Stuart Haas Racing. And the number 80 machine. Now, this was a car that never even existed, but they were going to run races. This was called Finish Line Motorsports, and they were going to have J.J. Yaley run about 10 races or something like that. But even then, there's people who will make the template for these decals, and you can order them or make them yourselves and be able to make your own custom diecast cars. So I think the most important thing I should tell you guys first is where exactly I get these decals, because that is one of the most important questions that everyone asks. Then I'll show you guys the tools, and then I'll show you the step-by-step process on how to make a custom diecast car. One of the first places and the most common spot to get your decals from is from eBay.com. If you just type in something super simple like NASCAR custom decals, you'll get exactly what you're looking for. As you can see here, these are the first 8 options, and you can clearly see that most of them are going to be either Cup Series cars, or in some cases you'll get some Truck Series lots right here, as you can see here. Basically, the best price that I would recommend people if you want to go on eBay is look for something around $8 to $10. There's some people who usually sell them for about $12, and to be honest, that's a little too expensive when you're just getting one decal sheet. I'm going to show you another website and where I get my decals, where you can get a lot more for a lot cheaper, but some people do not know about that particular website, so I'm going to share it with you guys. But if you want to get started, if you just want to get one particular car and you only want to get it for like $8 to $10, then this is going to be the best option right here. Just go to eBay, go to custom NASCAR decals, and you'll find your options here. Next website I want to show you is the one that I order most to all of my decals from, and this is called Patos Place or Patos Place. I'm not exactly sure how you pronounce it. Just look up PATTOSPLACE.com and it will take you to this website that looks like it's still stuck in 1999. Now, this throws a few people off just for the simple fact on how old it looks, but trust me, this guy has been making decals for decades, and he's really good at it. All his scale decals are almost perfect, and the reason why I say almost is he actually makes them just a tiny bit wider than the scale car, just to give you a little bit of leeway, which is something I can greatly appreciate, because not all of us are perfect, and especially for us beginners, we need a little bit of that leeway, and he will provide it here with his peel and stick decals. And here's how you find the exact decal you're looking for. So today I'm going to be making you guys an Anthony Alfredo Cup Series car. So we are going to look at this area right here where it says decal n/cars, and we're going to go to number 71 through 80. Now, the options he has here is he's going to show you every single one that he has available, as well as every single scale he has available. Now, he doesn't show all of them, but obviously you can get the idea by just clicking the 124. You're going to see how the 110 looks. But it will show you the sponsorship, the number, the year, as well as the driver. So we're going to be looking for Anthony Alfredo 2023. Dude Wipes is what I'm looking for. So here we are right here. We're going to be going up just a tad bit since it was a newer one. Now you can see here, these are the Xfinity Series, and it says XFS, but that's not the one we are looking for. We are looking for this one right here. And if you're still not sure if this is the exact one you're looking for, if you just click the link for the 164 decal, you'll clearly see that this is the one that we want to get. Now, also, you notice that there's 4 sets of decals here. That's the great thing about Patos Place, is he's going to provide you 4, whether you want water slide or peel and stick. I use peel and stick, and for this video, that's the decals we're going to be using, but he will get you 4 for 14 Australian dollars. Now, if you're from the United States, Australian dollars is about 1.5 times greater as far as pricing goes, so you're probably going to pay more around $10 for a set of decals rather than $14. That's why I say for people on eBay, just order something between $8 to $10, because if it's anything higher, they're already ripping you off way more than what they bought those decals if they bought them from this particular website. And the way you order them from here is he has an email right here within the body. I'm going to try to find it here real quickly for you guys. And basically what you do is say, I like to order a set of decals, and you're going to put exactly the ones that you want. And also remember what type you want to get. For beginners, I strongly advise you use peel and stick, so that way you don't have to spend extra money on spray paint or anything like that. So here are the emails right here. So you'll just email him right here at gmail.com. Let him know exactly what you want to get. And within a couple weeks, since it is in Australia, it will come to you. Now the shipping will be a little bit more, so I suggest ordering in bulks. But overall, this is the best website to order your decals. I trust him 100%. I've ordered hundreds and hundreds of dollars worth of decals here, and I've never been disappointed at all. So now I've shown you where to buy them. Let me show you how to make them. So the first thing you obviously need is your decals. I got mine right here. I only got one here in the meantime, since I've already made another one of these and gotten rid of the other two, but we still have one available. So make sure to cut this one out and have it ready. And you're also going to need a specific car. Obviously, it's going to be a car you're going to sacrifice, so I wouldn't suggest a chassis die-cast car. Use a die-cast car that either has a few chips on the paint, maybe there was a print malfunction, or you have duplicates. So I'm going to use, let me push these back just a tad bit, is going to be this one right here, the number 24 of William Byron. Now, I love this paint scheme, I really do, but I already have a duplicate of it, so I'm willing to sacrifice this die-cast car. Never sacrifice a die-cast car that you do not want to sacrifice. I used to do that as a kid, and there were some very valuable die-cast cars that I got rid of solely just to make custom cars. Don't do that. You will regret it. But this one I will not regret, since I already have a duplicate of it. So let me show you what you first need to do before you start applying the decals. The first thing I suggest is putting a little bit of paint around the car. Now, you don't need to actually spray paint. In fact, you don't need to fully cover it. You just need to get a good amount on there so it doesn't bleed through the car, because even though this will cover most of it, especially the black areas, wherever there's a white decal, it's a little bit light right there. And you can see that here with this 24 car, the numbers are yellow, so it will slightly bleed through. So you can get one of these decal paints for about $6 from any hobby store, and this will last you a long time. You only need a few droplets to carry you a long way. And I've used this for about 50 cars already, and I bet you I'm only at this spot. Like, you don't have to use that much at all. So this will last you a very long time, and it will truly block the numbers underneath. So without further ado, let's paint this one here real quick, and I will get back to you guys when we get it all finished up. Alrighty guys, I am back, and it's only been a few minutes, and as you can see here, the paint is already mostly drying, but we do not want to apply the decals yet. But I just want to show you guys real quickly on how it looks when I get it painted. As you can see here, it's not professionally done. Like I said, this is for beginners, and honestly, it's okay. It doesn't need to be fully painted black. You just want to make sure you hit the main areas where you're afraid that the die-cast car underneath will bleed through when you put the final product. Doesn't need to be fully coated with black paint, just enough to just cover those other sponsorships. So this will do for now. I'm going to let this sit, but now I'm going to show you how to cut out the decals. Okay, so I have my decals right here ready to go, and as you can see on this sheet, it provides you everything, including the undercarriage of the car. We're not going to worry about this part or this part right here. We're going to focus on everything else: the sides, the roof, the hood, the front, the bumper, and the name tags. I like to include the name tags. Trust me, it is very handy to have those on there because it looks really weird when you see the number 78 car and then you have William Byron up front. It's best to cut these out, and honestly, they're not that bad to stick on. So the way I cut these is not with scissors, but I like to use a craft scalpel. And these are usually $7 on Amazon. They're really handy to have, and I trust these way more than the scissors, just for the simple fact that you got a lot of round ends. And let's be honest, cutting scissors in the round ends is really tricky. This scalpel right here, it helps you get those close in spots, especially when you're trying to cut the windows right here. And when this is enclosed, it's really difficult with scissors. So that's why I rely on this. So I'm going to show you me cutting out these decals, and I'll be back to peel them off for you, okay? Alright, so now all the decals are cut up and ready to go, so I no longer need this scalpel until later. And it only took me about 8 to 10 minutes. Now when I first started, it took me about 15 minutes, but it's not really that long of a process. It gives you plenty of time for your paint to dry, and also it can be really peaceful for people. So I got these ready. Let's bring out the diecast car, and now we get to do the fun part. We get to apply the decals. Alright, so it looks like the car is ready to go. I'm rubbing my finger on it. It doesn't look like there's any paint on my finger, which is going to be really good because it's not going to come off when you put the decals on or make any adjustments. Now, there is a good order to go with when putting these decals on. I suggest the first ones you put on are the roof and the hood, and the last ones to put on are the deck lid and the back end. And the reason why is it is so important on where these sit to put your side decals as well as your front end decal, because if those are slightly off and you put those on last, then there's going to be gaps in between, and we don't want that. So let's do the roof first. Next will be the hood. And then after this, it's totally up to you on which one you want to go with next. I'm going to do the front end first. Why don't we put that on there, and we can kind of get an idea on how far we need to stretch the sides. There we go, and you're starting to see the diecast car already shape out here as far as looking at straight on. Now we're going to be doing the sides next. I'd say the best thing to do first will be to do the spots by the driver and passenger side window, and then after that we'll put the bottom end. Alright, and it looks like we're mostly done. We just have a couple spots left. We just have the deck lid, the back end, and the name plates. These ones are a lot easier than doing the sides as well as the front end, as you don't have to do that much tugging at all. So let's apply those real quickly. And there you go. We got all the decals applied, and it's looking pretty good right now. There's not really that many spots where I see really the car sneaking through on the bottom end, and actually all the decals placed on there really well. Now I'm going to show you guys an extra step. These are for people who are going to be making a lot of these. I don't recommend it if you only plan to make like 1 or 2 of these custom diecast cars, but if you're going to make multiple ones, there is a nice way for the decals to sit more comfortably on the car. And it's this tool right here. This is a craft heating gun. You can get these for between $15 to $35 on Amazon. I think this one was 20 bucks, and it does the job really well. That's why I only suggest it for people who are going to be making multiple diecast cars, just because it doesn't really make much sense if you're only going to make 1 or 2. But what it's going to do is going to flatten out those areas that are sticking out a little bit, and also just have the decals just rest on the car a lot nicer than what it already has. But before before you do that, make sure to cut off areas that you do not want to really be heated onto, because let's say this spot right here, you can see it's sticking out just a tad bit. Once you put that heat on it, it's going to be really hard to cut off. So make sure you cut off these areas before you apply heat. So let me do that here real quick. Now it is time to apply heat. So what you're going to do is just put it on the lighter setting. Don't put it on the heaviest setting, because the decals will actually curl up in an area that you do not want it to be. So just stick it on the normal end. Make sure to keep your hand obviously away from this, because this does get very hot. And all you need to do is glaze the car real quickly with it. Just go back and forth. Let me give you a brief demonstration. And here is our finished product, and it turned out really nice. This is why I really like the peel and stick. It's super easy to apply, and it's very effective, and it's a great way for beginners to get started. And if we do it side by side compared to a Lionel Racing diecast car, you don't really see much of the difference. I mean, obviously there's a few things, the texture, and there's going to be some wrinkles on your custom diecast car, but let's be honest, there wasn't really much of a chance for a car like this to be made. So for you to apply it to your collection is actually really cool, and something that a lot of NASCAR collectors really can appreciate. So I'd say if you're starting out, this is a great way to go. When you get a little bit more professional, or you want to make them look more like professional made one from Lionel Racing, then I would say use water slide. But for now, peel and stick is usually a good option for beginners, and you can use them for either Cup Series, Xfinity Series, or Truck Series. You got plenty of options, and now I've showed you guys where you can buy them. I've shown you guys some of the tools you can get, and most importantly, I've shown you guys the finished product. So now it's your guys' turn. Hopefully you guys are able to make plenty of custom diecast cars and can add on to your collection. But the most important thing, guys, is I hope you enjoyed. Please like and subscribe, and as always, you all take care.